In DC, for DC. DC Radio, 96.3 HD4 and DCRadio.gov.
So listen, this is the first show. I'm so excited. Y'all said, Choppin' It Up with Chook. What is Choppin' It Up with Chook? It's just a platform where I invite in local, national, and international artists. And we sit down, we chop it up, talk about the ins and outs of the music business. We learn about the music game. The music game is a competition that is based on specific rules. So this is a platform for us to sharpen up our rules of engagement. Is that all right? Is that all right? So today, this is the first show, and they said if you shoot towards the moon, that you land amongst the stars or whatever. And I'm in the studio here with two stars. They're also my family. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce. Now, this woman, one half of the group Floacist that in the mid-2000s, I don't know about y'all, but literally changed our lives forever. I never even thought about the concept of hearing, singing, and spoken word over music. So in the studio today, yes, we have Miss Natalie, the Floacist Stewart. I gotta get sister.
My brother.
Yes,
Excuse my
you're all right.
my autumn. Ooh, we're popping off over here.
Listen,
my autumn is the locks and the headphones and everything. Oh my.
Welcome. And with
Thank
the
you.
Floacist, aka Nat, is her husband, the Robbie Maddix.
Hello, sir.
It has to have a "the" on the beginning, not a
on
Mister.
now.
Thank you.
Listen, everybody, you got to go and do your homework. Robbie Maddix, wow, where do I begin? First and foremost, an amazing UK super producer, has produced for so many people. Not only that, but I believe it was like the mid-90s. Mm-hmm. He was a part of this amazing, legendary rock band called Stone Roses.
Indeed.
And they sold so many albums and played in so many arenas and everything.
Absolutely.
And actually, in the mid-90s, Robbie had an opportunity to be very vital in helping to further their legacy during that time. So I am so blessed. Y'all hear that? I am so blessed to have both of you all here.
Well, thank you for having
Yes,
us.
indeed.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
So let's get right to it.
First of all, I love your house.
Yeah, very nice,
thank
Chook.
you. Listen, I love it
It's
here.
really nice,
Yes.
isn't it?
Shout
Very
out
nice,
DC
Joe.
Radio. Shout out, And we got all kinds of little trinkets in here that y'all will see a little bit later on and listen to and hear a little bit later on. We got instruments and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
It's the smile that goes with it.
I'm happy. This is a great day. So listen, but today is about you all too, because this is the first show, and I wanted to have some artists that will really appeal to what's going on in the industry. You all's resume is already amazing. So tell us, can you share a little bit of you all's journey, what you've done?
Goodness me.
Ladies first.
Oh, bless you, love. That's beautiful. I'm going to keep it short. I big up DC. I love the DMV. I love this area. Means a lot to me. As you said, Chuck, look, Floacist is a Floacist, but all that part, solo work, that's there. I
Yes.
is what's happening right now.
So you have to announce it. Yes.
Yeah, so my husband and I have aligned ourselves to manifest some messages and some vibrations that are very much for this time going into our 2020. And that's what's happening. This was so beautiful about being on the show, getting to share that, because we've been in the lab.
Yes.
Lab.
Yes.
Lab.
Labbing hard.
Experimenting
The
in the
laboratory.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Rats.
Yes. So listen, of course, we've heard some of the music, like I said, over the years from, the Floacist.
Yes.
The things that you've done with Floacist.
Yes.
I have been privy to hear some I stuff as well.
Yes,
so what is you all's motivation? Like, where do you get the oomph to do what you do?
I get mine from that.
Gotcha.
She's
I'm just lucky.
well. I mean, she's so well loved throughout our journey. that I've been really privileged to meet some wonderful people. And making music really is just an extension of, it's kind of her world. I've produced records in different fields. So it's not one field. You know, it's been rock and reggae and pop and lots of different stuff. So this is the first time in America for me on this side of the fence.
Right.
And it's a real privilege. It's warming to one's heart anyway, you know.
The reason I say lucky is because you know how this business is. Bless you, baby. You said it's my world. I know what you mean in the sense of here coming back home and in this way. But you know, as a multi-instrumentalist, you know how you guys are. You know, so drums, guitar, bass, you know,
singing.
over here, the vocal, the artistry. So I say I'm lucky because for some reason, and maybe because of our alignment, he's sharing again. You know what I mean?
Oh, I stopped sharing for
He's sharing
I took
again.
like 10 years away. It felt when I first, I started from probably 88. So I made my first record in 88 and then carried on. Just literally, I was maybe touring 4 tours a year, making records and the videos and everything else that goes with it. So I think by 10 years later, I thought I'd been in the business 30 years.
Right. It feels like it sometimes.
I was like, I am retiring.
Yes, sir.
You know, so literally, I stopped doing music. I went into management and different things like that, which was still involved, but not really on a studio or writing songs level.
Gotcha.
I took a bit of a break from that,
Right.
which was needed, I think, because now I'm so fresh. I feel so fresh.
Absolutely.
So you know what? So the music industry and just the ability to be able to create and all of that stuff. It's a whole different world. I know we have to be in a certain place. You got to be in a mode, an atmosphere for creativity. So my question to you all is, so what do you like most about being an artist?
Freedom.
Got it.
I like. I can appreciate people who have to do jobs that they have to do.
Got it.
I do a job that I like doing. So that to me is my freedom.
Got it.
You know.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I'd agree with freedom. And I think purpose, you know, as time gets on, it's all very well, you know, Floacist, I was in my 20s when I came out here first. I'm 40 now.
Gotcha.
And so much going on, you know, the studies that we do together, it has to be purposeful.
Got it.
So that's the thing I love about being an artist, is that I can be purposeful with the choices of product and songs and messages and, you know, what you're sharing.
So what is the least thing you like about being an artist? Because it does come with some of those things too.
I like how you say that smiling.
Stigma.
Right.
Stigma, go on, baby.
Stigma. Because people assume artists, musicians are a certain way.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not always the case. So for me, it's the stigma, you know, that maybe you only care about music. You know, you don't have no other interests in life. You
Right.
know? So for me, it's the stigma of being a musician that can really grate on me. You know.
That's a good question. That I like that one, honey. Stigma. I'm gonna sound like an old misery pot now. It's too open now.
Got it.
I think that's the hardest thing as an artist right now, is everyone wants to do it. The technology's been a blessing and a curse, you know. Everyone wants to do it. Everyone's doing it in their bedroom. So it is a real field, you know. The calling of artistry is a very real thing. And I think the thing that kind of jars me the most about it is it's like open all hours. Like everyone's in, you know. Like,
and for me, you all both hit the nail on the head. The main thing that I like about being an artist is the creativity and the freedom to be able to do that.
To create.
And then the same token, on the flip side, like you said, the stigma sometimes, me being born and raised in Washington, D.C., and, you know, we're fighting for go-go right now to be like the national sound for
Shouldn't
DC.
have to fight.
Shouldn't be a fight.
Shouldn't have to fight.
What else is it going to be?
But then there's so many other different things, you know, different, we got reggae, we got R&B, we got gospel, everything. I guess we have it everywhere. But it's that stigma that, you know, sometimes people try to put on you and be like, you really will hear my heart if you don't lock me into a box.
That's right.
You know, so there's so much we can talk about. So much. This is going to be a great day.
Excuse my cold.
Oh, no worries.
Cross seasonal weather.
Yes. So I'm excited, first and foremost, that you all are here. And like you all were saying, you all are introducing I and I.
Yes, I. Purposeful things.
Well, I and I is a Natalie concept.
Got it.
Why don't we make some music? And I'm like,
Literally, quite literally, like, here she goes.
You know, so literally I started purchasing studio equipment.
Gotcha.
I had some guitars already.
Obviously, and basses.
But I started, you know, getting equipment again.
Got it.
And we're in the house, and it wasn't really something that we've got to make this album or anything. Literally, we'd just be having a conversation about something.
Got it.
And maybe I'd sing the words that we've just spoken about as a chorus, just in jest.
Right.
And Natalie would say, "That's a great chorus.
Oh,
I'm going to write something to that."
Yes.
You know, and then these songs just started happening. You know, so it's very close
Really
to our you know, album.
So today we do have...
You have a couple of...
Yes, we have some exclusive I and I songs.
Yes, you do.
So which one, let's privy the people to one now. Which one would you like to...
Oh, is it either or? Our choice?
We Be.
We start with We Be, I think, would be the one to start with. Yeah. 2020.
Yes. So I'm in here today. You all listening to Choppin It Up with Chook, and I'm here with the Floacist and Mr. Robbie Maddix. Together they make I and I, and we're gonna play one of their debut songs entitled We Be.
We should be together, you and me, free, whenever needs to be free. I love ya endlessly, forever and ever and ever. You look like you like looking inward to forward the moment you're living in, existing like all could be better than possible probables, all could get better when. I like looking forward through inward reflection with self, like I listen to past lives all night, like alright, I'll try to do better then. You look right, like you're coming from something or someone or someone's, like how I'm coming from something and someone's. Remember them? It feels like then I was remembering, saw you and heard from them. They were greeting and conferencing, I shouldn't be listening. When they call me, I'll listen then. When you talk, yes, I listen, friend. We're planning for something, like something is happening. Or maybe it happened. And that's why we know why. That's why we know why. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Constantly renewing. We should be together. You and me. Whatever needs to be free. I love ya endlessly. We know what we're doing and being aligned in this time by divine or design. Perspective is everything, selective with everything, like pieces reflecting in everything. Just living and loving like life is a gift, and then with the trust of the Lord we'll ascend again. Return to the heights of inspiring life. No blaming or claiming, no purpose or power. No failing, no turning from hailing the truth in this hour. Proclaiming in action, only words that are verbs can exalt in this verse. Not rehearsed, this is live. Not external, it's inside. We're living life like the world just begun. No battles to be won. Just faith, hope and belief. Just you and just me. And that's why we know why. That's why we know why. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Constantly renewing. We
I can't believe it. Oh my God, that's so funky.
Your fade was awesome, man.
I'm trying. This is day one. This is day one. You have just heard for the first time, We Be.
The wrong mix.
You
should have seen my face.
You probably did. You probably did.
But hey.
Listen, hopefully everybody out there, they hear the intention of the heart.
Oh, that's the song.
Yes, that's the song. Yes, indeed. So that is We Be, you all. Be on the lookout. 2020 is about to be an amazing year. Just like 2020 is clear vision.
Yeah. Clarity.
2020 has some surprises in store for us. Mm. So I got a question. Mm-hmm. So, being an artist, there's a lot of challenges, whether it be outside or whether it be inside, just trying to come up with the right thing. I can share, I know, like one of my challenges is sometimes I'm my own worst critic. So like if I'm producing a song or something like that, I said, if it's a reggae song and I'm not like, hey, at the end I said, back to the drawing board. And we've had talks about that too. Production talks as well. So for you all, what is some of the challenges that you all face, as an artist?
I think for me, the challenge of making music now is the music I want to make, it's not going to sound like the music everyone's hearing.
Got it.
Because there's a trend, a serious trend.
Gotcha.
So the challenge really is re-engaging with the audience again.
Right.
The people that you know like your music. It's so difficult now.
Right.
Very less TV shows to show your product.
Exactly.
The airplay and it's all this kind of thing because it's changed. It's very much television led.
Actually, and that's you were saying like the outlets that we have. I know back in the day and being born and raised in DC, like dropping the album and being able to go and perform inside of like Kent Mill Records, the record stores and stuff like that. Man. Absolutely. So that's changed now. So I know one of the challenges is like with the online versus having a concrete CD. We were talking the other day. I was like, even buying a CD. Like the computers they sell now don't even have CD players.
They don't even have CD players. Like, how about you old for saying CD?
Right.
When did that happen?
Right.
I think also, content, it's happened with the content too.
Gotcha.
Look, so when you were growing up, you either had church parents, you weren't allowed to listen to anything else anyway.
Right.
Or you had parents who they had their grown folk stuff.
Right.
You had identifiable young music, which was usually kind of boy or girl group stuff. But now it's just one lane. It's like everyone's supposed to be trying to be 19.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
And there's no variety for, where you didn't even have to figure out what to say yourself. You could play a song.
Right.
You know, you might have an apology to make.
Exactly.
You could play a song.
Exactly.
You might want to be maybe more romantic than your own vocabulary is.
Right,
You could
right.
play a song. There were different things that you could go to for different
Right.
meanings, purposes, variety. That's just
And
missing.
And isn't that what pushes the artist to be the best that they can be? Is to be able to be versatile.
I would think so.
You know, like I said, a lot of times I wanted to stay current, but it's not just about that. It's even with being current, it might be sound selection
Yeah.
when we're producing. You
Yeah.
know, the sounds like a lot of stuff you all have heard, like in like the Philly based stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the deep snare, like Questlove brought that back. You know, and stuff like that. So a mixture of being current to make sure that the new listeners have something to be able to appeal to. But then as we are growing and becoming more experienced, we still have our age group around that wants to, you know.
Yeah, and I think we got that real interesting one with it all growing in the fact of you got people who haven't heard live music.
Right,
That's new.
right.
Not having something to compare it against, you know, where things are becoming more programmed and
Right.
stuff. So there's
Right.
that as well. But there's a way.
The challenge is, I think part of the challenge is that a lot of the younger folk don't realise that computers don't make music.
Gotcha. Got it.
People do.
Right.
Like programs and plugins, and they don't make music.
Right.
Instruments do.
Right. Right.
So that's a challenge just within itself.
Right.
That why would you pick up an instrument if I can have a program that I don't need to play the keyboards, I can just press chords here.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
At some point it will make sense.
Gotcha. And it's kind of tricky because it's some of those things like on albums that are like little key things that people remember.
Oh,
Especially,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It might,
Oh, yeah.
They might remember, you remember that shake or that tambourine right there?
Oh,
such
yeah.
and such, you know? And I guess what we're learning is blending the two. As in terms of like the live show, I've been learning so much from you in our, you know, in production time with like Ableton and stuff like that. And trust and believe you all, as long as you all tune into Chopping Up with Chook over the next couple of weeks, I will have all kinds of guests and artists in here to open up different things. But like even like with the Ableton, we can run that live with the band playing over top of it, you know, and it just makes a whole...
It's like, what are the tools for? It's like, say you're building a house, and you got to do it from scratch with no tools, and then technology comes along and makes it easy. You got cement mixers and things like that to speed up processes.
Gotcha.
But you still need talented craftsmen and construction workers, you know? So it's great to have all of these new tools. I love it when musicians pick up the tools more so than it being, oh great, I don't have to learn how to play the guitar now.
Right.
Oh great, I don't have to learn how to play the drums now.
Right.
And I think that changes those nuances because you don't get your 10,000 hours.
Exactly.
You know, you're not voicing now.
There is something that if anyone out there who suffers from red light syndrome
Oh, talk about it, baby.
in the studio, you might want to try changing the light to green.
Yeah, your recording light.
Not red.
Can you all say that again?
Should we get into that?
Listen,
if you'd
that's
like me to
important.
get into it.
Yes.
Get into
You see,
that?
because when you're recording, it shouldn't be a test
Got it.
or a stop. You shouldn't have to think about what you're doing.
Yeah, you shouldn't
It doesn't
stop to
matter
record.
because you can record again and again and again and again.
Right.
So the whole process of recording is to capture
That's it.
what someone's doing.
Right.
It's not to determine what they do.
Gotcha.
So when you have a red light, you've seen it in the studio, you're playing, everything's cool, and then that red light goes on, and then you just feel like the whole world's watching you.
Right.
And you now to take, it's like, play how you was playing before. And you're like, I am I not playing like, no, you're not playing
You're
like
not.
you played before.
Right. You're playing safe.
That red light tells you to stop, man.
Yeah,
That red light
it
tells
does.
you to
Tells
stop.
you to stop.
So part of that, I suppose, industry thing,
Right.
control.
Right.
Now you're not as free.
Got it.
You don't think as freely.
That makes perfect sense.
Look at our red lights.
Yeah.
But we don't see those.
Right, we don't see those. We see green.
We see green.
That's This is great. So listen, question. So what would you all, I guess individually or collectively, but what is like one of your big accomplishments that you you kind of tag on, this is a little marker in my life that,
Ladies first.
Oh, baby. Well, in all truth, one of my biggest accomplishments is being identifiably me after having a lot of fantastic experiences.
Gotcha, yes.
But of those fantastic experiences, just to pull one, writing with Earth, Wind and Fire.
Got it.
Writing with Earth, Wind and Fire. And our beloved Maurice was still here.
Yeah.
So Philip Bailey Verdine really having the elements in the studio. And that definitely is one of my favorite moments.
I can only imagine.
Definitely.
Well, mine is we were asked in 1991, I think it was. No one had ever touched Bob Marley's music. No remixes, no nothing. Just reissues.
Got it.
And there was a big thing of how are they going to reintroduce Bob again? Because the music had changed. It's gone really... there's a lot of break beats and stuff like that. And we had actually come up with a new music. First music ever, actually, to be indigenous to England.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because rock and roll isn't, gospel isn't,
Soul isn't.
soul, punk, house, none of it.
That's right.
You can't even say folk is.
Not really.
Right.
So we came up with, it was like a reggae rhythm, but it was double the speed. So because it sounded so crazy, we named it Jungle.
Got it.
Like jungle music, which drove them crazy because it was very deep.
This is a history lesson, you all. This is a history lesson.
Yeah, very deep rooted
Dubby.
dub
Yeah.
reggae,
Got it.
which Jamaica weren't doing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because when we brought it to Jamaica, they were like,
Wagwan.
"What's this?"
Right.
It sounds like you're in the jungle.
I wish I had some turntables. So
pull
y'all
them out.
can hear exactly. He let me hear the other day, like the difference, like with reggae, and then he played jungle.
Yeah.
And you could literally hear how it was infused, right?
Yeah. Well, if you want to check it out, you can go on YouTube and put in Bob Marley Exodus
Okay.
remix, and then you will hear what we did with. But we were the first to do that ever, to touch his music.
YouTube, Bob Marley, Exodus remix.
Yeah, so
Jungle
we would have, that was my
Jungle
for
remix.
me, that I got to hear
His
Bob
raw,
on the 2-inch, because it was 2-inch tape then.
Gotcha.
And he was literally
So
telling
warm.
the backing vocalist when to sing. So he'd be like this, the music's going dun 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 dun, and he's going like this. Right. When the next 4 bars we're gonna say move. And that's how he's talking on the tape. And then it comes along and all the backing vocals go, move.
Yeah, man.
And he goes, yes, make it a little tighter. Move. All the way through the track. It was amazing. So we literally just soloed the track and was just listening to Bob.
Yeah, man.
Speaking through the whole take. It was really
Awesome.
excellent. Really excellent.
Awesome.
Those are amazing
That's a
moments.
good one.
Yes.
That's a good one, baby.
Fantastic.
That's an amazing thing. I think one of my highlights I can honestly say is
And you
today.
have, and you've
Come
had
on.
many.
Listen to me.
One.
But today is really, you have to understand, this is an amazing opportunity that I've been blessed with. I wasn't looking for it. And when it came to me, I was just like, God, really?
Yeah.
And I want to do the best I possibly could do. And to have you all here for the first episode, this goes down in history. October 31st, 2019. Episode 1 of Choppin It Up with Chook.
Yeah, give people something blessed to do with the day.
So question, so I know you all have come over here from across the pond.
Across the pond. Fishing.
Yes.
I like that, babe.
That's one amazing fishing trip.
Yeah.
So question, so do you like, so name some of the performing you like in US or UK?
The audiences are different.
Spots to hit. Yeah, it's interesting because we're so connected, it's just across the pond. We speak the same language culturally. Right. Ultimately, it's the same thing.
Right.
Yet somehow there's a little bit different. England, we have to do a little bit more to be able to celebrate and push energy out. England's just a little bit stiffer. The US is just ready to go. So I wouldn't compare them. For me, it's home and home, really.
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha.
It's home and home. And one of the things that we intend to do and that we are doing is linking that making that bridge more.
Absolutely.
You know, and enjoying it more. Because I mean, goodness, it's like a jump. It's like soul to soul, flowetry. You know, it skips generations.
London can be quite scary.
Ella's here now, Ella May.
Right. Don't you think?
Yeah,
London
it
can be
can.
scary to perform in.
Yeah, it
because
can.
if
It's
you
hard.
don't bring, you know, America, they usually appreciate what you do. Okay, he's up on the stage.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
give him a chance.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
In London,
It's hard.
it's very difficult because once you're there, they're saying, well, you know why you're there, right? Entertain me.
Now.
Got you.
I've
Got you.
paid.
Yeah.
Now I want to see you move.
Got it.
Or do
so
something.
do something.
Got it.
So we'd actually decided to play some of the album without anyone hearing anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just straight to the people.
Because we was doing a gig and we thought, okay, shall we introduce the new album just to see where we're up to?
Right.
You know, no one knows what it is, you know. So we slipped in, I think it was 3 or 4 songs.
At
We
least.
slipped into the
Yeah.
set. And literally the crowd, and I mean, it's London as well.
Right,
So it was
right.
at the Jazz Cafe, sold out. And the crowd was literally, and these are some real nice people
Yeah, man.
Right.
Beautiful people.
Right.
that had literally come out and they were from the beginning, you know, so we enjoyed that.
Absolutely.
That was because new album.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it was so, it was entertaining for us
Yeah.
watching them.
Yeah.
Got it.
You
Got
know,
it.
wow, is this a new song?
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause they're all singing the chorus
They're
already.
singing
you
chorus
know?
by second chorus. And we're
Really?
in, yeah.
Yeah.
It was beautiful testing it. You're right, honey. Especially, I think, with this one, because we were able to organically create the project. This is home studio. This isn't, you know, the energy can't get too collected up. Like
Right.
I often say, I'm not in the music business. I'm in the healing business. You know.
That's it. That's
so. Really intentionally putting these songs together with such a purpose, and making them without the end in sight, right?
That's right.
Making them like, we know how the industry is right now,
Yeah.
what's being promoted, what's not being promoted, who's
Right.
not getting listened to.
Right.
We didn't make it based on that. We made this craft based on study, purpose, you know, intention.
Absolutely.
So when we rocked it like that in London, it was dope. It was great to see the people's response. And we're bringing it here.
Yes,
2020,
yes,
we're on the
you are.
road.
That's the thing, because I actually was lucky enough to be on the Floacist, the last tour,
The farewell tour.
the farewell tour. So I was able to see firsthand, you know, reaction, and everyone loved it. So the intention really was to try and keep that sound, feel,
Right.
familiarity, I
Right.
suppose, with what people have heard before.
Got it.
But, you know, not to say we're trying to move on to the next thing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not another Floacist
Journey.
album.
Right. Absolutely.
But just to keep the feel. Grown folks music.
Yeah.
Evolution.
So listen, so you all have seen and have experienced when you all play new music
Yeah.
or your music period to people and you see their response. And
Yeah.
like you said a moment again that about not in the music business but in the healing business. So with that being said, you all, what is a song that you all might have heard throughout your lifetime that really impacted you even till today?
That's a good one.
You bring the sunshine
You were talking about that.
in my life.
You've been singing it. Yeah,
You hear that?
yeah.
You brought the
yeah.
sunshine, the Clark sisters.
Clark
And
sisters.
why is that your...
Well, that when that song came out, I remember I used to go to Kojic. I used to be a member of that church, and the Clark sisters are a member of that church. And we're in the UK, and they used to come to the UK, and Twinkie used to rip up that organ,
Right.
you know. And literally, when that song came out, there wasn't any gospel songs in the secular world. So when that came out, that was getting played in clubs, and I was like, I'm sure that's the same record.
Right.
I'm sure that's Twinkie. And then literally, I love the song. I love the words anyway.
Right.
And
the
it
little
just
reggae.
yeah, and it had the reggae twist, you know, from you know, my parents are Jamaican, and so it was just, I just love that record.
Wow.
Listen, man, it's got to have some roots in it. I mean, you're talking about songs that have travelled with me my whole life. It's in the roots section, and Burning Spear in particular. There's a song Up in the Hills, Man in the Hills, which is to this day, if I just need balancing. And a lot of the Wailers catalogue, you know, Jacob Miller, that type of stuff, because those songs are awakening. They help to remind you, you know, sometimes this world is set on trying to disprove you to yourself.
Right.
So they're really good at repositioning the mind, focus, and getting you there, you know?
Well, I actually have my favourite song is by Bonnie Wailer. I actually sing that song sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, it's a song, it was from a film. I first heard a song out of a film called Countryman.
Yeah, man. Oh, great
Beautiful film.
Great film.
Absolutely brilliant film. You can catch that on YouTube as well.
Okay.
And the words are just, be not selfish in your doing, pass it on.
Wow.
Help your brother in his needs, pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you live for self, you'll live in vain. If you live for
others,
others, you can live again.
Wow.
You know, so that song, and the way he sings it as
through
well,
the airways.
It's just got to be leveled up. It's got to have content and content.
Yes.
It's got to have musical content that makes you go, ooh, ah, ooh. And it's got to have something that really...
Well, you know, I'm a dread.
Yeah, man.
I'm not Rasta, I'm dread.
Right.
So those kind of songs
Absolutely.
are very close to me.
Wow. Y'all are hearing it here on Choppin' It Up with Chook with Antone Chooky Caldwell on DC Radio. So listen, family. So we want to introduce one more song to them from I and I. Is that something that we can
share
do?
another.
Yes.
Another.
Well, you got to be somebody.
You got to be somebody.
There's more.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do some Be Somebody. Why not?
Listen, you all are listening to Be Somebody by I and I here on DC Radio.
You gotta be somebody. You gotta. I and I. Yeah. You gotta help somebody. Somebody like you. I don't wanna be a superhero. I just wanna be nice. I want to be kind. I don't wanna fight to be human. I just want to be humane. I wanna take everything I know that's wicked in this world and make sure that it's never me, ever. I want to be more than clever. I want to be just. I want to be fair. I want to keep my conscience clear. I give thanks to be here. What a blessing to be here. I wanna share love. I wanna be there with love. Do you feel it too? Do you? Yeah. You gotta be somebody. You gotta be somebody. You gotta free somebody. You gotta free somebody. You gotta help somebody. You gotta help somebody. You gotta touch somebody. You gotta tell somebody. Now, somebody helped me yesterday, and I thanked them. But who knows if they know how grateful I was. We were strangers before and became so again, but somewhere in between we were friends, we were family. I was there for them, they were there for me. We didn't exchange names, we just called each other love. Like, yes love, thank you love. I appreciate you for being here, I do. And I know that they felt it too. Like how I feel you, right now. Do you feel it too? Do you? Yeah. You gotta be somebody. Come on now. You gotta free somebody. Right? You gotta help somebody. Help somebody like you. You better tell somebody. You gotta tell somebody. You gotta be brave to be brave. To have the belief to access change. Be somebody with purpose. Freeing somebody is the focus. Help is needed, so be helpful. Then tell somebody what they need to know. Something like, beloved, you are beautiful. Made by the Creator, so it must be so. Be somebody. You gotta be somebody. You gotta be somebody. You gotta free somebody. You gotta free somebody. You gotta
all just heard Be Somebody by I&I.
I'm out here shedding.
Did you like it?
I love that.
You love it?
Yeah.
I want to play that song for 20 minutes.
Yes. We were
Live.
just walking around here just dancing.
Just live. Just like, come on, sing that hook again. Let me hear it.
So listen.
I see instruments.
Yes, you see instruments. So
see
this
instruments.
is episode 1. I would not dare have the caliber of artists in this room and not
In your living room.
listen like my living room now.
Your living room.
It is. And not have a moment to let's do something. Let's put some music into the atmosphere.
Send out some
indeed.
energies and messages.
Yes.
Should we do that?
Yeah. I'm good.
I'm going to play my instrument, the pen and the voice. Percussive like.
We are live. Washington, D.C.
Yes.
So what are we going to do?
Should we just do a little messaging? Nice little message, I think, would be nice.
Yes.
Not too hard now.
Not
That's
too
right.
hard.
Don't go too fast, Chook. Go leave me now.
Not I.
Yeah, I'm going to start jamming. Let's go. Where we going to go? You go, I'll follow. I like that. Go around again now. I'm just going to feed it a bit. It's a message. A well-intended message. Yeah. Awake. You greet another day with the choices that you make. Decide what you will leave. Decide what you will take. Decisions are the key to release what you don't need. If you're gonna let it be, you have to let it be. Be mindful not to keep the residue of anything that had you feeling weak, like what you said versus what was think. The times your own assumptions are the ways to make you sink. You're feeling down. It can be an addiction. Getting up can be filled with hesitations. It takes determination. Don't fall for the distraction. These attractions that are tugging on your soul, they're asking you to stay. You know you have to go. Know the things you know, cause your path is just your own. Lessons will be lessened if you listen to their fear. Hear your truth, keep it near. And then you just breathe. You gotta let it go. Let it go so you can grow. You gotta let it go. Let it go and just breathe. You gotta let it go. Let it go so you can grow. You gotta let it go. Let it go. Now, avoid all this confusion. Refuse this illusion that the destiny's not blessed. Yo, it's your time. No matter who came before you, don't let them weigh you down with the pain of their past. Shape your own mind. It's irrelevant if relevance measured by the elements without you in a reference to your own kind, earthling. You may find that we're living in an era that can't be defined by those who thought that this was the end, or by those who thought that their enemies would win, or by those who let paranoia turn them inside out. Do you know what this life's all about? Do you remember before anyone taught you to feel as if life was never gonna treat you better than the lesser? But that was in the prequel. What about now? You took it to let it out. You gotta let it go. Let it go so you can grow. You gotta let it go. Let it go and just breathe. You gotta let it go. Let it go so you can grow. You gotta let it go. Alright, here's a message. You can do anything you want to do. Anything that your heart truly chooses. It may be a lonely journey, but it's yours. It's your purpose. You may have to leave some things behind, and you may have to change your mind, and you can't take everybody with you, but they'll be better off for having known you. So just breathe, breathe, breathe. You gotta let it go. Let it go so you can grow. You gotta let it go. Let it go and just breathe. You gotta let it go. Let it go so you can go. You gotta let it go. Let it go and just ha 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 ha. let it go and just breathe. 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 Breathe.
Ooh, wait.
There we go. Little something.
Wow, yeah.
So nice.
Chopping it up with Chook. Listen.
Chopping it up with Chook.
I am elated.
Man, I tell you, I think I just found the angle that I'm supposed to have had this on the whole time. Don't watch me.
Well, you got there.
I got there. That's the point, love. Persevere. I enjoyed that.
So we are with the master, Antone Chooky Caldwell.
Lies, not me. I'm
Oh, come on, Chuck. Whatever. He's like, what do you mean as he gets onto another instrument?
No.
So if I could just say,
Go
if
ahead.
anybody doesn't know,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sure there's lots of people that doesn't know Chooky. But if I could tell you what he's like, he's not well. Musically, he isn't well. I just
Yeah,
like
hear
to
the
put
truth
that
now.
out.
Hear the
for you.
truth now.
He isn't well.
Oh my goodness.
So when you see him, give him a hug.
Listen, it's funny, you're getting interviewed and stuff.
Chooky's
but you're
my
getting
favourite
this
musician.
is in the
And
world.
I've met a lot of musicians in the
world.
world, and Chooky's my favourite.
Yeah,
So listen,
hands down.
Listen, and it's very, very seldom we even use the term and mean it sometimes in our society today. But I have learned to love you all. Both of you all. We met, what was the last year?
Top of this year, imagine.
Wow.
Wow.
It sure
Feels like
was. It sure was. Literally the beginning of this year.
Met with your lovely wife.
Yes, the beautiful Miss Malika.
Yes.
Out on the waters.
Yes.
Malika is Cristal.
Right, yes.
Champagne.
Yes, she is.
You know? Was that good?
No, you missed the smile. She's going to be like, you did good, honey. You did good.
She has to deal with me, like I said. Well, we're not on the air, so it's literally not even been a year yet.
No.
But it's well said and well blessed, and
Absolutely.
some things I think, when you pray, you get answered. If you don't pray, you don't get answered. You know
That's
what I mean?
right,
that's right.
So things come at different times, but alignments for beautiful people. You know
Right.
what I mean? Productive,
Right.
purposeful.
Right.
Those type of things. When you're really trying to bring that to yourself and to give that,
Right.
then you start to magnetize.
Absolutely. And then when they said, doors don't open unless you knock.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people are wasting time just standing at the other side of the door.
I don't knock on doors.
And keep the
I
door.
kick them.
Yeah.
Then you heard me, right? Boom, boom. Who's that?
Are you clear? I'm here.
He said, no,
OMG, this has been such a wonderful experience, just even for the first episode. I'm so glad to have had both of you all here. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, that's blessed.
So I want to ask you something. So to inspiring artists that want to come up and do what they've seen you all do for years, what would you have to say?
I'll tell you a funny thing.
I like that breath.
No, I'll
Go
tell
on,
you,
baby.
as you were speaking, I thought, okay, but it's very difficult to speak to youngsters in anything.
Got it.
So, imparting your knowledge sometimes onto aspiring musicians, they think you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to tell me not to win.
Right.
And it's not always the case.
Right.
And I would say, if you're thinking about a career in music, don't think about the money.
That's it.
If you think about what you're doing, it comes along with it. It comes
More
with
than you
it.
could imagine.
That's it.
You understand what I mean?
Right.
So there's no point you thinking in terms of because you see people on a video and they've got this or that and the other, because the reality is they haven't gotten, well, not all of them, but
Gotcha.
the majority don't have what they're portraying they have.
Right.
Which confuses you then.
Right.
Because you think by the first album, you should have a Bentley and an ice, and you don't really understand that. You've borrowed, to be able to do your project.
Yeah.
And you have to pay that back first.
How about that?
And then you should pay the tax man after that. And then you might have some, because it's a long-term thing.
Absolutely it is.
And if you can get in the green quicker than you stay in the red,
Hey.
then you can have some kind of longevity.
Yes.
Without being owned forever.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
I would say, I'm not really one to give career advice.
Don't tell drugs.
Yeah. Right. Definitely. But I would say have a purpose, man. Find out what that is.
That's right.
Everything's a bit easier. It's easier to manifest your drive or to get the energy that you need to do the more or to, so really submit to your purpose. And it may take you elsewhere. I was studying theatre, I performing arts student, poet. Most of us are multi medium. But you're going to be hard pressed to find an artist who does one thing,
Right.
And this industry makes you do one thing. It's very Roman in that way. That's it. You're a bread maker. There you go. You're now Marcus bread maker.
Right.
That's it. You know what I mean? So enjoy all of your craft and take the time outs humbly. Yep. You're not supposed to be in the light all the time.
That's right.
Live so you've got something to write about.
That's right.
That's great. Those are great words.
Live so you have something to write about.
Absolutely. And I will only add, would say, identify your passion. Once you learn your purpose and what you're supposed to do, identify your passion. Your passion is that one thing that you go to sleep thinking about, you wake up thinking about. And your passion is also, like you said, like both of you all said, is the one thing that you would do without even thinking about the money.
That's right.
You just do it because you love it. This has been an amazing first episode of Chopping It Up with Chook. I hear a theme song.
This is jamming.
It's got to be go-go though. What you mean? You've got to have some go-go in the bottom of that thing. Come on, what are you talking about? Hey.
Yes, indeed. So tell us, tell the listener, the people out there in Radio Land, how we can get in contact with you, social media and everything.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that's what we misses.
Yeah. Legends like Mr. Maddix. Legends like Mr. Maddix, you find him in the lab.
Right.
But no, online, Floacist on IG, you can find across the board on all of those social places. And in the real world.
Yes.
2020, we're going to be hitting the road in the States.
Yes.
I'm saying that to Chook, like Chook ain't going to be there.
Right.
Oh, funnily enough.
Right.
We're going to be hitting the road. But also, listen, if there are any poets listening, spoken word artists or anything like that, we're opening a Flow Vortex in Philly on November 17th. Okay, it's a Sunday. Come down and enjoy yourself. It's the best spoken word event you'll ever experience in your life.
I've been there.
Okay.
Listen, it's amazing.
So it's at Warm Daddy. So that's a real life thing. That's not on social. That's in the real world.
That's it.
So
they can see you there.
They can see us there. They can see me there. We're looking for poets all the time, constantly. We're archiving the spoken word of this time, in this crossover period into the 2020, especially of our people. So please find me online, find me in the real world, wherever you are. Have the hat back on, and I will see you 2020.
Yes, indeed. So listen up. So you have been listening to what it sounds like to chop it up with Chook. So this is just the initial episode and the initial offering that I'm going to be presenting to you all here on DC Radio. Listeners, if you have any questions, of course, you all can always reach me as well on Chooky Caldwell on IG or Antone Chooky Caldwell on Facebook, and it's the same on Twitter. I'm just so glad to have you all here. Moreover than anything, I'm going to always aim to bring in artists like you all and entrepreneurs in the future who will share their journey with others in hopes that will help somebody else along the way. And that's the biggest thing. If it's called a state of catharsis. And that's where you can learn from other people's mistakes. So, we don't always have to, I got to learn it for myself. Okay, well, there's several other people who've done it this way and it didn't work.
You don't have to get the burn too.
You don't. We have matching Band-Aids.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, I am Antone Chooky Caldwell. I'm here with the Robbie Maddix and the Natalie the Floacist Stewart here live at DC Radio.
Can I add?
Yes.
If anyone's got any parties, because I love Washington. So if anyone's got any parties we can come to,
Right.
any go-go's,
Listen.
hit us up.
Speaking of, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to party.
Are we going tonight? I thought we go.
Possibly, I know Bill Adana is going to be
We'll see.
having tonight and stuff.
We
So
may be going tonight.
yes. So that once again, before we leave, I definitely want to give another shout out to Mr. Max Myrick, who has invited me to have this show here. Mr. Shane, engineer and producer, thank you so very, very much for making it all happen. It's making it happen. Shout out to Malika Jackson, of course. Malika Jackson Caldwell. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's right. Yes, indeed. Also, of course, Kiana, Jazzy Girl, Faircloth. And then also, one of my cousins came through the studio today to help support, and I really appreciate that. Abraham Primo de Dutch Forte, who also is the founder of, it's called the Peace Foundation, which means proper education activates creative energy. Trust and believe. He's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. So we got stuff for everybody. You've been here chopping it up with Chook here on DC Radio. And before we leave, we're going to play a little song from my latest album called All Things Love. Be blessed and be safe.
Your color, shape, or size, you can't continue to hide behind the propaganda that's been seen before. You gotta be careful, sometimes you gotta ignore. Don't get caught up in the lies you hear.
In DC, for DC. DC Radio, 96.3 HD4 and DCRadio.gov.